All right, welcome to today's SME Growth Cohort session. It's the 9th of July, and on today's agenda, we have the Tech News Bulletin. Search is changing. Here's how marketers can lead in the AI era, followed by Points Mastermind, which basic plan there is you share a business pain point, the group share relevant experiences, you settle on a course of action to address that pain point, and then we discuss progress in a month. If you're limited to just a search query, it's just a few phrases. Like if we look at our website logs, we can see that our prospective customers, they're quite creative. They come up with quite a diverse set of keyword phrases. But if it's a conversation, like multiple sentences, paragraphs, etc., that's going to be even more diverse. So we're going to have to think even harder about what it is they're asking in order to match our content to that. One of the things that I see all of the time at the moment, whether it's on LinkedIn or elsewhere, is search traffic dropping like a stone, like plummeting as people are using AI agents. Which, if we do what we've always done and just go into analytics or whatever it is we use and check our visitor numbers, we're going to see that dropping and thinking, well, that's a real big problem. Like how do we combat that? But what this paper is saying, and it makes sense, is well, actually, it may be that a lot of people are now pre-screened that would have never bought from you anyway. They're not going to land on your website. But the people that do land on your website, they're better educated about both what they need, what you offer, and what your competitors offer. So we could consider that to be probably a higher value visitor to the website. So we're going to have to think about, well, how do we track the success of our marketing activities if the meaning of some of these metrics is changing? Rethink brand voice. As AI systems speak for you, consistency and emotional clarity are critical. So I think this is a really interesting one. A couple of minutes ago, we hit the rewind button and we looked at search engine results. And back when I used to be in the SEO game, it was dead simple. You defined a title, you defined a description, and that's what filled the page with results. I was in absolute control over all of the words that appeared. It then evolved, and sometimes the search engine would take a snippet from my page, and it would still display the words that I wrote. But that game is gone. When we get into AI search, the text that is going to appear from that AI tool will be what it thinks is relevant. So if your prospective customer asks a question, your website may answer that question, or it may answer part of that question, and other people's websites may answer that question or part of that question as well. So whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini, they're no longer just going to use the words that you wrote. They're going to look at all of these sources and then create a response. Now, what you want, I think, is to be clear with the language that you're using on your site. Every time you're describing something, be consistent with that language that you're using, because we want to encourage the AI summaries to use language that is consistent with our brand voice. And it can only do that if we're using a consistent brand voice on our own websites. And again, you're losing the ability to communicate directly with your customer until later on. Someone else is now going to do that for you based on information that you publish. So I uploaded that on Friday. I could see from my stats that it was crawled on Saturday. And then on Monday, after settling on this topic, I thought, right, well, let's see how things are going. So I punched in best fractional CTO. So ignore this bit at the top. That's just a paused ad that I've got. Right. Ignore that bit where you've just seen my face. I'll talk about that in a moment. So on Monday, these are sponsored ads. I'm pointing as if you can see what I'm pointing at, but you can see these are all sponsored ads. I was the first natural result for best fractional CTO, but I wasn't in the AI citations. So uploaded it on Friday, crawled on Saturday, ranked #1 for best fractional CTO on Monday morning. And then when I looked again yesterday, so this is the AI Gemini citation at the top, you'll see my face over on the right there. So that's the top AI citation. You'll see here, there's the link to my website right in the first bit. And I'm in days gone by, I've just been like a machine gun. I write things because I think, oh, that's quite an interesting thing to write about. And it does absolutely nothing. What's going on, Andreas? Why does that rank so quickly and so highly, whereas in the past, my content has taken quite a long time to get crawled, and then often Google will say, oh, I've crawled it, but I'm not going to index it. That's how boring it thought it was, and it doesn't rank anywhere. So, Andreas, can you comment?
That if you're going to operate an LLM as a search engine, what you want to do is you only want to update your LLM with you only want to update your LLM or AI model with content that makes you smarter. Okay, so it was easy for LLMs to pick up your content quickly because the internet is a sea of noise. Okay, and it doesn't really give much content for LLMs to get smarter on. Okay, it's a very poor diet. Think of it as loads of carbs on the internet. Suddenly it sees protein, i.e. your article, and then it thinks, right, I'll have it. Give me that steak. Because it's actually got something. And also the content is based on research that correlates highly with its own internal worldview. But the mindset shift is you need to be getting some quantitative data on what it is your target buyers are discussing, and it needs to be statistically significant.